The Milwaukee Bucks ended their season in brutal fashion. They didn't just lose in the first round, they got exposed. Giannis showed up. He averaged 33, 15, and 6 in the series. He absolutely carried his trash-supporting cast on his back. And even though Damian Lillard tried to come back after a scary blood clot injury, he came back only to suffer a devastating torn Achilles in Game 4. And just like that, any hope of a deep playoff run vanished. The Indiana Pacers smelled blood. Tyrese Haliburton orchestrated, Pascal Siakam punished, and the young Pacers ran the Bucks out of the gym in 5 games. Milwaukee didn't just lose, they looked done. Old legs, no depth, no answers. And with Giannis giving everything while his teammates crumbled around him, one truth became painfully obvious. This team's championship window has officially closed. Let's be brutally honest, the future of the Milwaukee Bucks is a complete mess. On paper, the team is old, expensive, injured, and stuck in a financial chokehold. And when you zoom in on the details, it somehow gets even worse. Let's start with the core. Damian Lillard is 34 years old. He just tore his Achilles trying to come back from a blood clot. He's out for the entire 25-26 season, and when he comes back, he'll be 36, trying to run an offense on one leg while making over $60 million per year until 2027. Brook Lopez is 37, still serviceable, but let's be real, he's not anchoring your defense like it's 2021 anymore. They still have Kyle Kuzma under contract through 2026 after the midseason trade for Chris Middleton. But he had an awful playoff series, averaging just 5 points and shooting an abysmal 34% from the field. He is certainly not the guy you build around. And yeah, they still have Bobby Portis, but he's another aging vet who is slightly average at best. So who's actually left? Not much. The only players who are actually somewhat average or better players left on this roster are KPJ and Gary Trent, who are good but certainly not needle movers. That's about it. Now let's talk draft picks, because this is where it gets even worse. 2025, no first rounder, just a second round pick from Detroit. 2026, they technically have a pick, but New Orleans has swap rights, so if the Bucks are bad, that pick's gone. 2027, same deal, another swap with the Pelicans. 2028, this time it's Portland with swap rights. 2029, forget it, Milwaukee owes that first rounder to Portland outright. 2030, you guessed it, another potential swap, again with Portland. Milwaukee won't have complete control of their own first-round pick until 2031. They can't tank, they can't trade for stars, they can't even draft new talent and develop. This isn't just a rebuild waiting to happen, it's a rebuild with no tools. And as for players under 25 years old, here's what they've got. KPJ, Andre Jackson Jr., Chris Livington, and AJ Green. Almost all of them are on non-guaranteed deals and unproven. None of them are projected as starters on a contending team, let alone a championship one. So let's recap. The roster is old, your star point guard is broken, you've got no picks, no cap space, no young cornerstone, and nothing even resembling a rebuild plan. If you're Giannis Antetokounmpo, one of the greatest players of this generation, what's your move? Because staying loyal sounds great until loyalty costs you everything you've worked for. And in Milwaukee, it already has. Let's be honest, it's time for Giannis to move on. And we've heard it before. Every summer the whispers start. Is this the year Giannis finally asks out? And every summer, Bucks fans laugh it off. He signs the extension, he pledges loyalty, he posts a corny Instagram story about family and unfinished business, rinse and repeat. But this time is different, because for the first time in his career, Giannis Antetokounmpo is staring at a future with no help, no hope, and no way out. The Bucks aren't a sleeping giant, they're a sinking ship. And Giannis is standing on the deck, watching the last lifeboat drift away with Chris Middleton in it. Let's break this down just to remind ourselves once again. Dame is cooked until 2026, and when he comes back, he might not even be Dame anymore. There are no young stars waiting in the wings. There are no future first-round picks to cash in. There's no cap space to chase a third star, and there's no time to waste. Giannis turns 31 next year. These are the years that matter most, and he knows it. So now it's real. Because if Giannis is finally ready to walk, it's not just a trade, it's an arms race. This is a prime, healthy, top 3 player in the world becoming available for the first time in his career, and every GM with ambition is foaming at the mouth. But here's the kicker, Giannis might not even want to go to your favorite team, because the list of real options, that's shorter than you think. And next, we're gonna break it down. The pretenders who want him but can't afford him, and the contenders who could actually make this nightmare come true for Milwaukee. Just because a team has a big name doesn't mean they have a big enough offer. Let's be clear, every team in the league would love Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's the ultimate franchise changer. But there's a difference between wanting him and actually having the firepower to go and get him. Let's start with the obvious ones, teams the media will hype up immediately. First, let's talk about the Lakers. It's LA. Of course they're going to be in every superstar conversation. They've already got Luka Doncic and LeBron James. Throw Giannis in and it sounds like a cheat code. But there's only one tiny problem. They have nothing to trade. They've completely emptied the clip. No young prospects worth mentioning, no premium draft picks, no contracts that make salary matching easy. And you're telling me Milwaukee's going to trade their entire franchise to let Giannis form a super team in Hollywood for Rui Hachimura and a 2030 round first rounder? No chance. What about the Knicks? Now here's where the media really gets loud. New York wants a star. Any star. Giannis is the crown jewel. But let's look at the best offer they could actually make. It starts with trying to put any player on that team not named Jalen Brunson. Add in a few firsts and maybe some decent pieces like Josh Hart or Miles McBride. But wait, the Knicks traded 5 firsts for Mikal Bridges, so that's basically impossible to get done. What about the Heat, the team that gets mentioned in every superstar rumor? Because Pat Riley always makes the call, because Miami always finds a way, because Heat culture. But here's the truth, they can't do it. What are they offering? Tyler Hero? Jaime Jaquez Jr., some protected picks from the late 2020s? Milwaukee isn't taking that. You don't trade the face of your franchise for role players and hope. Unless Miami somehow ropes in a third team to up the asset haul, they're out. Simple as that. What about the Clippers? A little more interesting, but the same problem. Kawhi's health is a coin flip. They have no elite prospects, no real draft flexibility, and their core could be gone by next season anyway. There's no upside here for Milwaukee. Even if Giannis wanted LA, this front office isn't giving him away for expiring contracts and vibes. Bottom line, these teams sell jerseys, they generate headlines, they've got the market, the glamour, and the legacy. But when it comes to a real trade package for Giannis, they've got nothing. And that opens the door for the real threats. Because while the Lakers and Knicks are dreaming, teams like Houston, San Antonio, and OKC are preparing to pounce. Forget the big market fluff. If Giannis is really on the table, only a handful of teams actually have the assets, infrastructure, and timeline to make it work. And unlike the Lakers or Knicks, these squads can send Milwaukee a real package and still build a title team around Giannis from day one. Let's break it down. The Rockets might be the most realistic trade partner in the league. Why? Because Houston checks every box. They have solid young players they can move in Jalen Green, Cam Whitmore, and Reed Shepherd. If they had to move Jabari Smith, Şengün, or Amen, they could shop one of them. I mean, they'd be getting Giannis. Cap flexibility, they've actually got it, even with Fred VanVleet and Dillon Brooks still on the books. Sure, those contracts aren't cheap, but Houston's managed their salary cap well. They've got enough room to make a blockbuster move and keep the core intact. In picks, they've got picks for days. Thanks to the James Harden trade, Houston is still sitting on a mountain of draft capital. Multiple first rounders, future swaps, all lined up like chess pieces. If Milwaukee wants to rebuild, Houston can hand them the blueprint and the materials. They can build a deal around Jalen Green, Whitmore Shepard, and still have Alperen Şengün, Jabari Smith Jr., and Amen Thompson on the roster, not to mention their own first-round picks and a few they swindled from Brooklyn. Pair Giannis with Şengün's post play, Jabari's floor spacing, and Amen's athleticism, that's a terrifying front court. And for Milwaukee, this is a rebuild starter pack: young talent, multiple picks, and flexibility. If Giannis wants to win and Houston wants to level up from fun to watch to full-blown contender, this deal makes more sense than any other. What about the Spurs? If you're looking for a basketball fit, this is it. Giannis and Wemby in the same front court should be illegal. Wemby spaces the floor, protects the rim, and gives Giannis room to attack. They would instantly become the most athletic, longest, and most defensively terrifying duo in NBA history. And here's the thing: San Antonio can get it done. Assets, San Antonio's loaded. They've got Stephon Castle, a high-upside rookie, Jeremy Sohan, a versatile defender, Keldon Johnson, a proven scorer, and Malachi Branham, a promising young guard. That's a solid foundation for any trade package, and none of them are essential pieces if you're building around Wembanyama. Need to match salaries? No problem. That's where Harrison Barnes comes in. His veteran contract makes the math work without blowing up the roster. And draft picks? Yeah, they've got those too. San Antonio still holds control of Atlanta's future, plus a few of their own first-rounders. They don't need to empty the vault. They can make a strong offer and still have picks left over. They can build a trade without touching Wemby or De'Aaron Fox. Yes, Fox is in San Antonio now, acquired to give Wemby a legit point guard. The Spurs would be giving up depth, but their trio of Fox, Giannis, and Wemby would be one of the most balanced and versatile big threes in the league. Only question, would Giannis want to go there? But if he's chasing basketball greatness instead of bright lights, San Antonio could be his best path. The craziest option is, of course, the Thunder. No one has more ammo than OKC, not Houston, not San Antonio, not anyone. Let's run the numbers. Young talent, Oklahoma City is stacked. You've got Jalen Williams, one of the most complete young wings in the league, Chet Holmgren, a unicorn-level big who's only scratching the surface, and beyond that, they've still got guys like Isaiah Joe, Ousmane Dieng, Cason Wallace, and Jalen Williams. It's a player development factory, and everyone's 24 or younger. And at the top of it all, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, a legit MVP candidate, one of the best two-way guards in basketball. He is already the guy, and now he just needs the final piece. Draft picks? Let's not even play around. OKC has over 15 first-round picks lined up over the next few years. Their war chest is ridiculous. If Milwaukee wants youth, picks, and flexibility, no team can outbid the Thunder. And the best part? They can build a Giannis trade package and still walk away with a championship-caliber roster. They could put together a monster offer, something like Chet Holmgren, 2 firsts, and still walk away with a core of SGA, Giannis, and Jalen Williams. But here's the catch. OKC is methodical. Sam Presti builds slow. He doesn't chase the spotlight. He plays the long game. Would he break that trend for Giannis? Maybe, but only if they flame out early in the playoffs and decide the slow burn isn't fast enough. If they do, this team goes from up and coming to downright terrifying. This isn't just another summer rumor. This isn't some fabricated Twitter nonsense or trade machine fever dream. This is real. Because for the first time since LeBron in 2010, the best player in the league might actually be available. And if Giannis Antetokounmpo hits the trade market, everything changes. The Bucks, they fall, not just out of the playoff picture, out of relevance. The East, wide open. No more Giannis walls, no more one-man wrecking crew terrorizing your front court every April. And the team that lands him, they don't just get a superstar, they get an identity. They get national TV slots, playoff revenue, respect. They become a problem for the next 5 to 6 years. Because Giannis doesn't slow down. He doesn't load manage. He shows up every night and plays like his life depends on it. And the ripple effects? They're massive. Free agents will follow. Vets will take pay cuts. Other stars will demand trades just to join him. Remember when the Warriors got Kevin Durant? Yeah, this might be bigger. Because unlike KD, Giannis doesn't join 73-win teams. He builds them. So here we are. The Bucks are broken, the roster is old, the contracts are ugly, the future looks terrible. Giannis gave everything, and Milwaukee gave him nothing left. If he walks away, you can't blame him. In fact, you might want to follow him, because wherever he goes next, that's where the league is going. So now the ball's into Giannis's court. Does he stay loyal and ride this thing out in Milwaukee, or does he take control of his legacy and go chase another ring somewhere else? Because make no mistake, wherever Giannis goes next, the entire league will have to adjust. But that's just what I think. Where do you think Giannis should play next? Should he team up with Wemby in San Antonio, lead a young Rocket squad to the finals, or pair up with the MVP in SGA and potentially win OKC their first ever ring? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. And make sure to turn on post notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. We'll see you in the next one.